Welcome back to the Berlin Major. We are here once again. Elevate looking for some redemption after losing their opening game and their undefeated streak. M&M getting the better of them. M&M, FURIA, and Astralis are all fighting in this group for a spot in the playoffs. And FURIA, they are so close.
They absolutely are. All that FURIA need now is one win in regulation to lock them into the playoffs and to gate crash the party for M&M and Astralis. It could be all over after this game.
And there's also a chance that FURIA could actually gate crash the party for Elevate as well.
Yep.
If Elevate lose this game, there's a very high chance that they will indeed lose first seed, which means they might be playing FaZe or W7M or whoever comes out first seed in Group A when it comes to that quarterfinal in single elim. But let's go to the map. Oh my God, it's Oregon again. Oregon again. Oregon again, where we just saw Elevate lose 7-2. That's a pretty significant black mark on their record, and they just decided to go back there.
Yeah, I don't know about this one for Elevate. Not only that, but we know secretly in the background that Elevate are actually starting out on the attack. Now, Elevate on the attack were not good. Into the M&M defense, they were not good.
Yeah, and that really... This is the best chance that FURIA have had, right?
Absolutely.
All of their group's campaign so far comes down to right here. They win this in regulation, 100% locked in for playoffs, and looking in the hot seat for first seed as well. Could we have 3 Latin American teams in first seed? Could you just imagine? Well, Elevate fighting for redemption. Let's jump into Oregon to kick off this match. FURIA they have everything in front of them. This is their chance.
Absolutely. FURIA, they want to lock it in. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? Hang on.
There's no way. There's no way 100% of you community voters went for Elevate. Where are the 100%? Brazilian fans at?
What?
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether the community vote has cursed Elevate or it's us casting has cursed them. But losing that first game to M&M, like FURIA are in another level to M&M. This is scary for Elevate. FURIA could be the team to steal away their first seed.
And FURIA could really break the hearts of M&M. They worked so hard to get that win back over Elevate just in that last matchup, and all of that could be undone in this. And the first ban to go out will be that Monty. Now, Elevate, they have been very good with that Monty. We've seen Sapper on it in particular. He toyed with the hands of Handy last time they played on Theme Park, and it was just, it was such a funny sight to watch.
Well, that's it. Elevate actually go back with a band that they used to do all the time. Thinker, gone. Does leave quite a few strong ops in. Thatcher is in. FURIA previously did ban... FURIA's actually been banning Monty against a couple teams. They also banned it against M&M as well. The Ying is in too. FURIA are going to ban out that Aruni though, so Onigiri not going to get that DMR this time.
Oh dear, poor Elevate. Being beaten out of the server already in the vetoes. We've taken away Sapper's Monty, we've taken away Oni's Aruni. Meanwhile, Finker and Valkyrie as well. What that does mean is that Thatcher's left in. All 3 of your hard breach that need to get hatches open are being left in as well. And on the side of the defense, we have Azami, Warden, all these kinds of operators that have really been showing up for the defense. Everything is on the cards right now for FURIA.
FURIA, the best position that they could ask for to make it to the playoffs. They could be our 4th team confirmed into playoffs if they can lock in this game. They start on the defense as well, Mandy. You said it. Elevate in the map veto. They got the final pick of which map they would go to, the final ban. That meant that FURIA got to choose a starting side. FURIA obviously going for the defensive side, where we have seen Oregon be quite favored toward Elevate themselves. Went down 5-1 on their attack just earlier this morning against M&M. And so if they can't have a bit more guts here on their attacking than they did against M&M, I'd be incredibly worried for Elevate, incredibly confident that FURIA will take their first seed.
Now, I just want to quickly touch on the bans one more time, especially that Valkyrie ban. Now, the way that FURIA structure their defense is they put a lot of emphasis on intel roaming. Valkyrie comes out a lot, Pulse comes out a lot for this roster, so does Echo, so does Mozzie, for example, for intel denial. It's a big emphasis on the way that these guys structure their roam, and so taking away that Valkyrie actually does handicap the likes of Rare, and handicaps the likes of Fantasy, who are very, very flexible on that operator.
STK looking to try and find a drone, not able to delay the drone info, but he does delay some time. Mr. Punch, though, look at the confidence. He's just face-checking this. Wait, the drone ahead does call it clear. So he moves on inside. He's found an advanced position in Freezer. A spray through. Doesn't find the pick, takes out the cam and falls back.
And this is exactly the effect of not having that intel on the side of FURIA. They did a roam, it wasn't super fruitful. They fell off really early, 2 minutes still in the hands of Elevate, and they're already getting open the hatches. They already have bottom freezer stairs control, and it just doesn't feel like the contest is there from FURIA just yet.
With FURIA relying on this full anchor strategy, they're going to lean into operators like the Smoke, the Warden, the Goyo, to delay time, to prevent that aggression. The Wamai and Jaeger in tandem together are very helpful with that as well. But DCH takes down Miracle. That's all of the gases gone before they can be deployed.
Uh-oh, FURIA, they've got ants in their pants. They're not sitting as tight as we'd hope them to be on this anchor setup, and now down with the man disadvantage. Elevate now shaping up for what seems to be a backtake. Oni making his way down the back stairs while his teammates make their way through blue.
Oni doesn't have flashes or nades to try and clear out this pillar position, so he'll need some help. He's to march down forward. He spots out the player. Fantasy and Rare together holding this rear side. Been droned out as well. Elevate, where will this push come from? Rare looking for an aggressive play. He does find it. Onigiri goes down. But meanwhile, DCH has found his second, leaving the numbers back in Elevate's favor.
The time is dwindling away though. Dev, Elevate, they need to get a move on if they want to clear out the final few anchor positions of FURIA. A swing comes out from Rare and it's perfect, taking down DCH. The drop from the elevator hatch. Oh, and Rare
no.
To collect the second.
Yep, he certainly cooked them up medium rare. 3 kills for him in the round, just Sapper left. MVP of APAC South, but 1v3 is a tall order, especially when you've got to waltz through some fire. It's been a good opening start from FURIA. There's nothing that Sapper can do about it. It's a done deal. A good start on the defense. And FURIA will be able to lock it in. Sapper baiting for some kills, but there you go. Finally, SDK. Lock it in there. Put him out of his misery.
Elevate eventually losing out on the trades on that back tower push. It was very disjointed from them. Oni tried to make his way down the back stairs, but it wasn't at the same time as the electrical hatch drop was happening. There was a big disconnect, and as a result, Rare was able to take those timings on the fight. First, he took it onto Oni, he changed positions, and then he could take another fight onto the person dropping the hatch. The refrag was just way too slow for that execute to work for Elevate.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
FURIA now continuing their campaign on their defensive side. Going upstairs, and this Azami staying in. Slipping through the map veto, or the operator veto rather, is going to make it very difficult for Elevate to clear these power positions. FURIA can leverage that so effectively to create those bunker up positions, even mid-round. That's the amazing thing about Azami, right? Like, you can use him, her rather, like the deployable shields to essentially create these fortified positions. Or mid-round, you can just patch up little issues and really put a slowdown on the attack.
5 seconds
And that's a
left
really
before
important operator to be left in this time as well. The last time that these two faced off, Azami was not in the operator pool. It was banned out. FURIA actually banned it out against themselves, I suppose, but now they're making full use of it. They don't think that they need to ban anything else out. But hang on a second. A spawn peak doesn't work out for SDK and Onigiri to find the opening pick for Elevate.
That's a very nice attempted spawn peak, but it doesn't work out. In fact, FURIA biting off a little bit more than they can chew. Rare goes down Fantasy now, looking for something as well. He's in the small tower. He's made his way up to office. The problem here, Mandy, right, is like if you get aggressive and it doesn't work, you kind of don't have a choice other than to get more aggressive. If you're down in 3v5 and there's 2.5 minutes left, the attackers will win. They have the time, they have the resources, they have the numbers. And so the force for FURIA to get aggressive. Miracle takes a lot of damage. Onigiri spots him out and finishes him off. A double kill, but the trade comes through handy. A very handy player there. Gets the down, but not the finish off. Goes for the pistol, but Sapper just crawls back in time. Thankfully, Fantasy's back on the side. The Impact tries to confirm the kill, but still isn't able to. He's got to land some shots. What a nice headshot. But he's been downed now. It's all on handy. On for this flank. Is Elevate going to see this one? Sapper calls it out, and Elevate, a swift reply.
FURIA just getting a little bit over-aggressive there in the early rounds. They gave away the first pick to Onigiri. That 2x on the LMG, too sharp for you. You're not going to win that spawn pick against someone as sharp as him. And eventually, some of the aggression was very well timed on the side of FURIA. We saw Handy, he made an excellent attempt at retaking into Trophy, holding on to that breach position, but it didn't work out in the end because Elevate, with that man advantage, played the trades out, and that's a done deal. Elevate taking a tag.
The Furious is going to go straight back there. I mean, the idea for FURIA is, look guys, we lost 2 players to spawn peaks. Maybe we don't spawn peak this round. We play a 5v5. Hopefully have pretty different results, and I expect that to be the case.
We're playing the same strat again. None of the lineup has changed for FURIA, and once again making use of this Keeper barrier. I really like the one that they've put that just covers up that double door. It means that the rotate hole inside of white is much more accessible to the defense. We saw SDK put it down earlier, and then we saw as Fantasy came up again with that Malusi, he was able to rotate through white and try and make a play on the breach, which it did end up working out for them. I'm a big fan of this. I think FURIA, they know the fluidity of their defense, and they're just trying to make the best use of it as they possibly can.
One thing with this Mozzie pick that I wonder is, in the absence of the Valkyrie, could the Mozzie be used to get some aggressive information, enable some C4s or other playmaking ability? FURIA, though, will sit on site as DCH has, within about 20 seconds, found his way into the building, and with the first pick. That is, well, Nook doing Nook things.
Well, that's your Zami being taken out as well, so no more Kiba berries are going to be generated for STK. And once again, FURIA in the man disadvantage. We've seen this 3 rounds in a row now, but this time they need to be way more careful about the aggression when they try and go for the retake onto Elevate.
Fantasy's on his drone right now. What information has he got? I wonder. He's actually got this position. Top armory stairs, he can call out, but FURIA feeling the pressure. They're going to have to get aggressive. It's Fantasy, 1.5 times scope on the Roni. Looks to get aggressive into Closet. Is he going to be able to take down the Nook player? Can he get out with his life even? Spraying through. Mark needs to lock him out. The flashbang goes through, but Mark not able to confirm the kill.
And beautifully played from Fantasy as well. He saw on his Mozzie drone exactly where the push was coming from and said, I can make use of this timing right now. Now Elevate, they're stagnating on this push. Mark even to go down. Fantasy re-aggressing. Wow, what an incredible play into Trophy.
Yeah, he's just sitting in here with the pistol. Oh my god, Miracle to cover on a Geary goes down. It has fallen to pieces, Mandy. FURIA asserting the dominance. Sapper desperately trying to bring it back, but he's the only one left. We've seen him attempt a 1v3 before, and he found the first kill that time as well.
Sapper now on the 1 versus 2, and this is the strength of this FURIA defense. Fantasy, he's so proficient on Mozzie. We've seen him play it over and over again in the Cobra Elite 6. Sapper, this is a bit desperate, just such low HP, and FURIA aren't giving him anything.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Got to trust in the process, but Miracle goes for the flank in through pit and can finish him off. Spots him on the rotation, in fact. A nice clean up there from FURIA, really on the back of, as you were saying, Miracle on that Mozzie. What a great pick and what a great play.
It's just so great. I love watching FURIA because every single time they really lean into intel as, I suppose, the core of every defense. It's not just on the attack where they can use their drones, but also they want to look for timings, but they don't look for timings like with game sense, like what W7M and FaZe do, for example. These guys double check with drones, they double check with cameras, they double check with pulse, and that's the way that they've shaped up their defense over and over again. It's the same thing in opposite. I suppose they go for intel denial plenty. We see Vigil coming out. Last time we saw Mute come out when they played this defense. It's just such a big pressure on playing that intel game. It's like a reciprocity between the two teams, but FURIA always somehow come out on top.
Pressure now on Elevate. That said, we admit that this is a defensive favored map. I'm actually going to go have a look at FURIA's history on this map because they've played it twice throughout stage 2 and won it 2 times, but the most recent was a very close game in the Copa Elite 6 against 6 Karma. So that's not a Brazilian team. I'm not entirely sure what region they're from. But they also 7-0-0-0 Nation in the BR6 as well in stage 2 did FURIA. So 2 wins on Oregon, but against lower level teams, and they ended up with only a 50-50 split of their attacking rounds won, with 83% of defenses won. So FURIA love their defense on this map.
FURIA, though, they've changed their philosophy a little bit on this basement hold. They're not fully anchoring down on the site and giving away everything to Elevate immediately. They're playing an extended roam. They're playing it with Handy here on the Vigil. They're playing it in tandem with the Mute Jammers as well to hold on to as much as they can. But actually, they've fallen off pretty early here. Rare, he's got to rotate to go back down to the tower stairs. STK, he's still holding on to security for now, but Elevate are starting to creep their way through the map.
A lot to clear, though. We saw how Elevate were punished by Eminem for not clearing these roam positions. FURIA, you mentioned information denial, and there it is right there. The Mute Jammer stalling out the drone, Handy as well on the Vigil, causing a bit of chaos.
FURIA, the doubling down on this position as well in Zulu. Fantasy is going to help his teammate of STK up those freezer stairs, and Elevate, they look a little bit stagnant right now. It's a repeat of before, but actually Onigiri is able to find the player of Rare. That was your big tower roamer. Oh, and missed the punch as well in such a tussle with this freezer stairs player. Can he connect the shots?
Fantasy does connect the first shot. The spray comes through, and Fantasy takes as much damage as he deals. The cover is there, though, from STK in server. It looks like Mr. Punch has thought better of pushing that, has fallen back, as has Fantasy. STK still remaining in this aggressive position. Does he have a Mute Jammer protecting him? He does, in fact. And that drone stopped dead in its tracks.
And this is the strength of the FURIA defense. They have no idea where Handy is. They have no idea he's fallen back. STK, they don't even know that he's there either. Insecurity, protected by 2 Mute Jammers. They have to go in blind. Now DCH making his way into elbow, but met by no one.
And STK eventually does punish a player from that server position. DCS tries to make an entry. It doesn't work out. Handy gets himself a little bit of a opening. 4v3. FURIA are just looking so much more in control of this game. Elevate lost. No information. No clue. 25 seconds. It's going to be desperate from Mark. He flashes up the elbow. He goes in for the peek. He's got to land this shot. A quick peek. Oh, and a nice shot as well. 3v2. Elevate actually have numbers advantage, but they've got to collapse. And Miracle is starting to pull something back in his way. DCH now 1v2 walking dead into the crossfire. Handy will lock it in. FURIA very happy with that one.
And what a gorgeous defense that was. Completely different to the last defense, really throwing Elevate off guard. Elevate thought that they had the map control, but as they started to drone through that mid-round, they realized, hang on a second, we don't know as much as we think that we did. This isn't so good for us. This is looking scary, and they had to go for something desperate. We saw players go down to blue instead and try and clear out the position in bunker. That didn't work out in the end. They played the trades really well on the rotate. They tried to go down freezer stairs, but they couldn't find the timing onto Handy, even though he was just sitting inside as the Vigil, just waiting for the right timing on the swing. FURIA, they're always in control of the intel. That is the identity of this team that we've seen over and over, time and time again, and they're still holding on to it in this series.
FURIA has had a bright future ahead of them if they can continue the growth that we've seen from them over the last few years. But to make a major playoff is something they have struggled to achieve. You know, they went to the Sweden major, they went to the Mexico major, managed playoffs, lost out to BDS. Went to the Sweden major, failed to make playoffs. In Charlotte, failed to make playoffs again. Same thing for Invitational, unable to make the top 8. Despite that, consistent top 4s within their region, consistent major appearances, but never dealing the damage that they would like. And Mandy, remember here that it's not just about FURIA getting playoffs here. This game is about FURIA stealing that first seed from the group away from Elevate.
And that would put Elevate in an absolutely terrible position as well. If they drop this first seed here, they could go up against the likes of W7M and FaZe. And it seems like Letab is the kryptonite at the moment of pretty much every single team in this major. They have done so well as a region, and I expect them to do well here as well. FURIA, they look poised to take the series.
That said, it's early days still, only 4 rounds in, and FURIA are on the favoured side of defense. Elevate have a strong defense of their own, but there's something happening with Elevate. Like, they're just not as switched on today as we've seen them in the previous 2 days. They've let their foot off the pedal, off the gas. And it might well cost them, which is a scary prospect, because FURIA, you cannot give them any opportunity.
FURIA, they're going to be holding on to Kitchen and Meeting as their tertiary bomb site of choice. We can see a pretty complex Azami hold being held inside of Meeting as well, but Elevate are not playing into it. They're actually just going to go straight for a small tower clear into Dining. This could go punished if they don't clear this hatch position, which can see the entry that Mark is currently opening up. They'll have to be careful to try and convert into the execute or fall short to the vertical.
Yeah, it's a smart setup from FURIA, isn't it? And it does net Fantasy the first pick through that vertical indeed. Onigiri able to trade it with the DMR, cautious of a repeat from another player. The shotgun is there. And Rare finds his pick, once again winning the trades for FURIA.
A grenade to follow through from Mr. Punch. It doesn't connect. Oh, actually, it does connect. It deals quite a lot of damage onto Rare, still pulling onto this position in security. Now, Elevate realizing they need this top floor control. It's mission critical to the push that they are trying to achieve. A Kiva barrier to further delay Mr. Punch, but he can take that one down. Seppa, he's coming in for the pinch.
And STK was able to make his cross thanks to that Kiva barrier. And the second one to go out, easy for Mr. Punch to hammer that one down. And STK does indeed get punished. Sapper comes in for support. Handy as well, punished. And that's top floor control for Elevate.
Rare, though, he's still holding on to this position in security. He could be verticaled out here, but oh no!
Oh,
Mr. Punch! Oh, he just sees his feet, taking him out. Now Miracle left in the 1-on-3 situation.
Gets one, gets two.
Oh no!
Could this be the miracle that FURIA needed? 1v3! You say his name, and he conjures one up.
I cannot believe that from Elevate. They did such due diligence to clear out that top floor. They knew they didn't want to enter into the site until top floor was clear. Fine, great from them. They played the trades fantastically with Sapper. But then, getting over-aggressive, they still had time to drone the site. Miracle! He made use of that mistake that Elevate made, not droning him out, just sitting there patiently waiting for that intel to come through. That never did. And Elevate just slipping through the cracks, and it's just so disappointing.
Disappointing for Elevate, but exciting for FURIA. You can see on your screen, if FURIA win this game in regulation, they are guaranteed for playoffs. Even an OT win, which is just 2 more rounds, well, even OT loss, 2 more rounds, is 66%. So FURIA are looking so hot here for the playoffs. Elevate already confirmed, but the big story that we're talking about is FURIA could not only make playoffs, but steal Elevate's first seed. Elevate were undefeated for the first 2 days of groups. This morning against M&M, they dropped the ball. They let M&M take it away from them, and they're letting FURIA do the same. Could we have 3 Brazilian teams, potentially 4 if you want to count Xset? All these Brazilians in first seed going into playoffs.
It is very possible, Dev. I'll tell you what, it is very, very possible. Now Elevate looking to shape up their final attack onto this kid's bomb site. Making their way through the master bedroom, but taking it very, very cautiously, waiting for any spawn peeks that FURIA might be going for. And Oni, once again, the first pick onto Rare.
It's a good pick, especially with how impactful these SAS players have been from FURIA. Rare, consistent on that shotgun. Miracle as well. Don't forget about that clutch, 1v3. You've basically written them off.
Now this is a bit of a cheeky hold into Master and Trophy. We've actually got STK prone behind the bed, anticipating that Elevator not going to drone him out. Will they? He's actually being protected by Handy inside of Trophy. That drone that Mark has sent through hasn't seen STK yet. If they try and flush out Handy, it could all be a big bait. It could be disaster.
Don't think STK realizes, but mate, you're meant to take your nap on top of the bed. Here comes the concussion though. That's going to reveal to Onigiri that there's a player in this room, but is he going to check Pro next to the bed? STK could still do so much damage. Onigiri drops straight on his head. The refrag can't come out thanks to the Kiva barrier, and STK is going to fall back, leaving us on a 3v3.
And they are constantly punishing Elevate over and over and over again for misdroning, going in too early. That's the second time we've seen that now. The previous round, Miracle, completely unscathed, 3 versus 1, not droned out. Same thing here with SDK, taking down the entry of Oni. They still have some tools in the arsenal, Elevate. They could get this breach open, which is exactly what Mark is doing now, but FURIA have just done such a phenomenal job inside of Trophy.
They just exude confidence, don't they? There's nothing that pushes FURIA away. There's nothing that slows them down. They are consistent. STK, one of the new additions to the roster, been around for about 5 months now. He's been proving what Azami can do and what he's capable of on this squad. Only just over 30 seconds left for Elevate.
Nomad jab to go out for Sapper. Oh, but Fantasy, he's too good. He'll take down Mark and he'll take down the diffuser with it.
Oh, Fantasy again! He's living a dream. For Elevate, though, it is a nightmare. Mr. Punch can find one. Surely not. Back-to-back 1v3s in this game. It's Miracle and STK to hold on with Mr. Punch finding nothing. FURIA 5-1.
And FURIA are just so good at punishing everything that Elevate have been trying to achieve. It feels like Elevate, they have this grip on the round that they think they have its perceived grip. But really, they don't know anything. FURIA, they're inside their heads right now. They're reading Elevate like a book. And it's just so incredible from them, the way that they've been playing this defense. Now, 5-1 half, it's so dominant.
The information denial is perfection from FURIA. Elevate lost. They've been shattered. Like they are rattled right now. All group stage long, Elevate have been this dominating force. They only dropped a single point to Astralis. They were undefeated. And today, they've gotten a taste of their own medicine. They look afraid. FURIA looking for revenge. When these teams played before, it was a grueling theme park, but Elevate came away 7-5. In order for Elevate to achieve the same scoreline, they will need to be pitch perfect on their defense. 6 rounds in a row.
5 seconds to go.
And if you're Eminem, if you're Australia, you're just feeling such heartbreak right now watching this game. FURIA, if they take this in regulation, it locks their playoffs run out. There is no chance for Australis, who still have to play 2 more matches after this one. FURIA, they're going to make their way through lobby, looking for a trophy push, but DCH, he punishes the entry.
Immediately, though, STK finds his own. Onigiri goes down on this roam. Thorn taken out. That's a good gun.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
That Elevate will unfortunately not have for the rest of this round. On the side of FURIA, losing Fantasy's nades is a pretty frustrating blow, but there's plenty left on this roster. 6 to be precise. Miracle onto this DMR. Look at this map clear. Like, it's so strange. Every team these days holds downstairs, and Elevate haven't whatsoever.
FURIA, while that main lobby tussle was happening, they got plenty of control inside of Small Town. Now Sapper, I think he's just spotted the position outside of Garage. Oh no, that's a hard wall on the other side. He can't connect the shots. Oh, he can!
Oh my
He can!
God!
His knee is sticking out, and Miracle taken down by Sapper.
The angles! The scenes! The millimeters! The telescopic pistol shot from Sapper. FURIA now, though, 3v4. So many nades and so much room for explosivity. It's STK who walks straight into the site. He's good for one, gets the down on a Mr. Punch, and immediately falls back. Rare's also jumped in, prone under the big window. What are we watching? It's up to Mark to clutch up. 1v3. We've seen it done by FURIA, but Mark, he's going to have to earn the praise that we have given him. Rare to put FURIA on match points.
And once again, FURIA slipping through the cracks in this Elevate defense. A disaster for them. Everything is falling apart. They have not been able to detect anything that FURIA were able to do. DCH, he was there to deny the entry, but meanwhile, this small tower push that came through from FURIA, completely undetected on the side of Elevate. STK coming up, White says, undetected. No passive intel there, no barbed wire, no proximity alarm. They had no idea. Same thing with Rare jumping in through that double window, no gun trained on it. There was barbed wire there, but he just prones in it and kills the player inside the kids anyway.
The guts that FURIA have right now. They're exuding confidence. They know that they can get their revenge right here, right now, and in such a dominant fashion as well. They're chilling. You look at them, smiles. You look at DCH from Elevate on the left-hand side of your screen. It's a very different story. Even Onigiri himself. Elevate, what's been going on today?
Back rubs. I just saw that on the side of FURIA. I feel like, honestly, that's what I need right now.
I wouldn't mind a back rub.
Man, it has been a long day, hasn't it? It's been a long few days. Actually, it's the beginning.
It's only midday.
It is only midday. It hasn't been a long day for us, but it's been a long last few days. And for these players, they've been at it for hours every single day. Even when they're not in the server, they're sitting there in their practice rooms, they're scrimming, they're stratting out. It's all the work that goes on behind the scenes in this venue is just insane.
What a week, huh? Captain, it's Wednesday.
Oh, dear.
We're just getting back into the server in case you guys didn't realize. But this, if anything, does give a little bit of a chance for Elevate to recompose. A bit of a smile on Onigiri. And FURIA are chilling right now. They couldn't care less, I think. They're on match point. They've had a very dominant game so far. It's Elevate who are looking a little bit silly. There was so much hype leading into this tournament for this Elevate roster. There was so much hype after their undefeated campaign, 4 games in a row. And then, I don't know, what's been going on today? It's just not the same.
It's really odd. And for Elevate, losing that first seed is just very devastating. Going into that game against possibly W7 FaZe, that would be absolutely terrible. For FURIA to be able to take them over later today, fate's out of their hands. Right now, this is Elevate's last chance to secure it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there is a chance that Elevate could still make first seed, even if Fury beat them here. If Fury lose their other game, I think Elevate will still have more points overall. But let's be frank, like, FURIA are the best of the rest in this group, and in fact, they're perhaps just the best full stop. They are most likely to win their next game, FURIA are. They're on form today, and we just can't say the same for Elevate, who have won 3 rounds in the last 2 maps.
That being said, Elevate are going to take us down to the basement. Laundry and supply room will be the bomb side of choice, and typically this has been quite defender-sided. Sapper, he'll be holding onto the smoke, of course, at the bottom of Freezer's stairs. Beforehand, now in the last series, we saw Sapper shut down very quickly by Tyrant. He got a little bit over-aggressive on the peak with the shotgun, but I think, look, recency, experience, Sapper is not going to make that mistake again, right? We were expecting him to be holding on to this Freezer position for as long as he can.
You'd sure hope so, because Sapper's made a name for himself playing the smoke on this site from that position. And if he drops the ball like he did against M&M, then this will be a very swift one. We know that both of these teams favor the defense on Oregon. Elevate significantly so. FURIA as well, though we have a bit less data to go off, to be fair. But no world, even if a map is very defensive favored, should you see a 6-1 after 6 rounds of defense and just a single round of attack. FURIA are on form right now. They're hitting their peak. They're finding their stride.
Elevate, they're not even going to try and contest the roam. All 5 players on the site. Not even an inch going into the ground floor. SDK, he can make his way swiftly into the building. Fantasy as well. Going through that top floor with the buck, he can open up anything in the top floor looking down the stairs, but it doesn't matter anyway because there's no room to be cleared out with it.
Risky business for Elevate, giving so much free ground to FURIA. Isn't that just such stark contrast to when FURIA were on their defense? FURIA did not let Elevate sit still. You know, so much information denial, so much movement, so much aggression. Elevate here, like, there's not been a single mute jammer off site to slow this. There's not been a single roamer shooting drones. They've, in fact, barricaded all of the doorways that lead upstairs. They're just bunkering down.
Creating a fortress in the site, aided by that Azami, one of the Kiva barriers going out on top of the Freezer stairs, and also on the hatch, preventing Sapper from being cut off, allowing him to play here for as long as he possibly can. FURIA, how are they going to deal with it? Are they going to face the problem head on or try something new?
Oh, Fantasy and Onigiri. The first duel, and Fantasy gets the better. Onigiri going down, that's another blow to Elevate. FURIA are in pole position. We've got so much time to work with. Will they even clear out Sapper from Freezer? Do they even deem it necessary? There are so many options for this FURIA roster.
attackers drop the
And a whole minute left to do it as well. Now they're sending in the drones into the site, some going down the electrical hatch and down the back stairs as well. They don't have to push into Sapper if they don't want to, and that seems like what they're going to go for. A back take is on the cards for Furia. C4 to go out from Mark, but it does not connect. Hatch still open. Diffuser in the hands as well of Furia. 40 seconds left for them to make this execute work.
This Goyo, though, this could stall them out. Like you said, time ticking down, just 40 seconds. Rare's going to take a hell of a lot of damage, but he pushes on through Blue. And that is what kills Mark. And what may well kill Elevate in this game. 5v3 now. Furia must push in. 20 seconds, Plank going down. DCH has got to deny. He's got to go for the swing. There's no choice. He can't find anything. It's all Sapper in the 1v5. We've seen some aces so far in the tournament, but this would surely not be it to keep them in the game. From a 1v5 now to a 1v2. STK bleeding out on the ground, but Sapper has to wait for the fire to subside before he's able to progress forward. And all the while, that timer is ticking down. Go time. Moves up forward. The best player that APAC South has seen in stage 2. Makes himself a rotate, making himself options, but there's no time at this point. Still 2 players to find, and not enough time to get on that diffuser. Furia! 7-1. They dominate, elevate, and qualify for the playoffs.
And heartbreak for the rest of this group. Furia gate crashing the party, taking their way straight into the playoffs in very, very dominant fashion. That is the Fury that we love. The intel denial, the reciprocity between those drones, and everything of their identity came out in this matchup.
What a well-deserved top 8 for Furia. They came into this game with the ultimate gusto. They delivered. And, well, we'll break down that game in just a moment. Your 4th team to qualify for the playoffs at the Berlin Major. A dominant victory, and Brazil find another team in the top 8. What a well-deserved match. FURIA 7-1 dominating the tie over on Elevate.
7-1. Like, what a scoreline is that against the top seeded team currently in this group, Elevate? Something must be in the air tonight. Maybe Elevate had a really bad brekkie this morning or something like that, but FURIA, they really took it to Elevate on Oregon. They had an incredible defending half in particular. They shut out everything that Elevate was trying to do, and it just felt like no matter what Elevate tried to do, it was out of desperation. They had no idea what was going on the server, and FURIA were in full control.
Yeah, I mean, contrast to Elevate, FURIA had full confidence. This is the team that's been consistently good enough to make a major, but always struggled to make a big statement at those events. Well, now they've done that. They're in the top 8. You can see the groups right here. FURIA just trailing a single point behind Elevate. Mandy, they're confirmed for playoffs, but they might even be able to make first seed.
And it's, of course, heartbreak for Eminem and Astralis. It's just FURIA. They came out of the gates, and we thought that Elevate were flying through this group. We thought it was over. But now they have their chance to go into that first seed and shove Elevate down against some of the rest of the top teams in this major, in the whole tournament. And that is a really big feat for them to try and achieve in their next matchup.
Yeah, it's a big slowdown for Elevate. They won 4 games in a row, only dropped a single point, and then today they only won 3 rounds across 2 maps. And with that, they're all done. Elevate will not have any more groups games. They'll wait for playoffs and wait for their quarterfinal. In that quarterfinal, they'll be playing most likely a top seed team because FURIA are only 1 point behind Elevate. If they get a single point out of their next game, they're probably going to make it. So we have confirmed the 2 teams going to playoffs for Group D, but that doesn't mean we're all done. We've got more matches coming, so make sure you don't close the stream.